Warren Henderson sits in a cramped studio apartment in Hanoi, staring at his laptop screen, showing a bank balance of $23,000. This is what remains after losing $620,000 in Thailand over 17 years. I lost everything in Thailand. My retirement savings, my dignity, and 17 years of my life. But the worst part? I raised a daughter who wasn't mine, and the real daughter I never knew just showed up demanding her inheritance. 17 years. 17 years of believing I was building a family, that I'd found my purpose in retirement, that the little girl calling me Papa was my blood. 17 years of monthly wire transfers, property investments, business failures and family emergencies that never stopped. Thailand taught me a lesson I'll never forget. The person sleeping next to you can be living an entirely different life, one you're paying for but know nothing about. Let me take you back to February 2006. I was 50 years old, Australian, and I'd just retired early from my job as a regional sales manager for a mining equipment company based in Sydney. 28 years of travel, client dinners and hotel rooms across Australia and Southeast Asia had left me exhausted, but financially comfortable. I had approximately $580,000 in superannuation and savings. The original plan was conservative investment, giving me roughly $3,200 per month in dividend income. My financial advisor said I could stretch it to $75 if I stayed disciplined. My marriage had ended 3 years earlier. My ex-wife Sandra and I had been together for 19 years before she left me for a physiotherapist. She met during rehabilitation for a skiing injury. After the divorce settlement and legal fees, I'd felt hollowed out, not just financially but emotionally. We'd never had children. She said it was medical issues. I later wondered if it was just me she didn't want them with. A mate from Perth, Trevor, kept telling me about his retirement in Pattaya. Mate, you live like a king on $2,000 a month. Weather's perfect, beer's cheap, and the attention from women makes you feel 30 again. I thought he was exaggerating, but his photos showed a guy who looked 10 years younger and genuinely happy. In January 2006, I arrived in Bangkok for what was supposed to be a 2-week holiday. The moment I stepped out of Suvarnabhumi Airport, the warm air wrapped around me like a blanket. After a Melbourne winter that had left me with bronchitis, it felt like medicine. The city smelled of street food, grilling meat, basil, chilies. Tuk-tuks roared past with impossibly loaded cargo. Everyone seemed to smile, even in traffic. The chaos felt alive in a way Sydney never did. I rented a serviced apartment in the Sukhumvit area for $400 per month, about $550 AUD. I was spending maybe $1,800 total, living better than I had in Australia. Fresh seafood every night, massages that cost less than a coffee back home, and a social scene where being a 50-year-old foreigner wasn't a liability. If I'd kept things simple, I'd still have that money. I'd be living comfortably somewhere warm, reading books, maybe volunteering. But I wasn't thinking about simple. I was thinking about meaning, about not dying alone in a 1-bedroom apartment like my father did. And that's when I met her. I'd been in Thailand for about 5 weeks when I met Sumali. I wasn't looking for anything serious. Trevor had taken me to a beer bar in Soi 7, one of those open-air places with about 8 girls working the bar, Western music playing, and a pool table in the back where expats gathered. Sumali was different from the start. She was 25, but carried herself with a quiet dignity that stood out. She had long black hair she kept in a braid, a quick smile, and this way of listening, really listening when you spoke. While the other girls were loud, playful, grabbing at customers, she hung back, folding napkins, restocking the beer cooler. I ordered a beer and asked her name. Sumali, she said. It means beautiful flower in Thai. Her English was decent, better than most. I asked how long she'd worked there. 6 months, she said. Before I work in hotel in Phuket. But my village need money, so I come Bangkok. We talked for about an hour that first night. She told me she was from a village near Nakhon Ratchasima in Isan province. Her parents were rice farmers. She had 2 younger sisters still in school and a brother who'd moved to work construction in Bangkok, but sent nothing home. She'd been sending 15,000 baht per month, about $600 AUD, to support them. Within 20 minutes she mentioned her daughter. I have daughter, 4 years old. She live with my mother in village. Her father? She paused. He leave when she pregnant. Thai man no good. The way she said it, matter-of-fact, no self-pity, made it feel real. Sumali wasn't like the other girls. She didn't ask for lady drinks every 5 minutes. She didn't flirt aggressively. She seemed embarrassed to be working there, like she'd taken a job beneath her dignity because she had no choice. I felt something shift in me, a familiar instinct I should have recognized as dangerous. I wanted to help her. More than that, I wanted to be the person who helped her. Before I left that night, she said, "My daughter, she have birthday next month. I want buy her bicycle, but..." She trailed off looking at the bar. This work it hard for me. I'm not like other girls. I gave her 3,000 baht, about $120 AUD. "For the bicycle," I said. She teared up, grabbed my hand, pressed it to her forehead in the traditional Thai gesture of respect. "Thank you. You good man. Not same other men. That should have been my first red flag." But it wasn't, it was the hook. Over the next 3 months, we became inseparable. I paid her bar fine, the fee to take her out of the bar, and gave her 1,500 baht per day, about $60. I told her she didn't need to work there anymore. She moved into my serviced apartment within 2 weeks. I knew I wanted more than temporary. I knew I wanted to marry her. I thought I'd found my second chance. A woman who needed me, a ready-made family, a purpose for retirement that wasn't just golf and waiting to die. I was wrong about everything except one thing. She definitely needed my money. Over the next 6 months, life felt like I'd unlocked a cheat code. I'd wake up to Sumali making breakfast, Thai omelets with rice, fresh fruit from the market. We'd spend afternoons at Lumpini Park or taking day trips to Ayutthaya. She taught me basic Thai phrases. I taught her to play gin rummy. My income from investments gave me about $3,200 per month. Rent was $400. Our living expenses maybe $1,200. I was giving Sumali $600 monthly for her family, plus another $300 as her allowance. I was breaking even but living well, better than I had in Sydney. Then came the first test. 2 months in, Sumali's mother needed emergency surgery. "Gallstones," she said. The village hospital wanted 80,000 baht up front, about $3,200 AUD. She showed me a photo of her mother looking frail in a hospital bed, paperwork with hospital letterhead, everything seeming legitimate. I didn't want to be the guy who nickel and dimed over someone's mother. I didn't want Sumali to think I was like other men, cheap, transactional. I wanted her to see me as her partner, her protector. I sent the money. Looking back, this was the moment I should have questioned. But I was already in too deep emotionally, and that fear that she'd leave if I showed hesitation controlled every financial decision I made for the next 17 years. 3 months later, Sumali started talking about marriage. Her family was asking questions, she said. In Thai culture, living together without marriage was shameful. Her mother was upset. The village was gossiping. I proposed in August 2006. I bought a gold ring from a jeweler in Sukhumvit for 45,000 baht, about $1,800. She cried, called her mother immediately, and within a week we were planning the wedding. Then came sinsod. In Thailand, Sumali explained, the man must pay sinsod to bride's family. It show respect, show you can take care of wife. Her family wanted 400,000 baht, about $16,000 AUD. I was shocked. That's a significant amount, I said carefully. Is that normal? She looked hurt. My friend, her husband, pays 600,000. You think I not worth 400,000? You think I same cheap bar girl? That tactic, making me feel like questioning the expense meant questioning her worth, would be used dozens of times over the years. And every time it worked. We negotiated down to 300,000 baht, $12,000. Half would be returned after the ceremony, she said. It was just for show, to give her family face in the village. I agreed. In November 2006 we married in her village. The ceremony cost another 120,000 baht, $4,800 for the monks, food for 300 guests, entertainment, decorations. It was a 3-day affair. I understood nothing but smiled through it all. Sumali looked radiant in traditional Thai dress. Her 4-year-old daughter, Pensri, wore a matching outfit and clutched my hand during the ceremony. We did a smaller registration ceremony at the district office 2 days later to make it legal. At this point, I'd spent approximately $48,000. Initial help and gifts, $8,000. Monthly support, 6 months, $5,400. Mother's surgery, $3,200 engagement ring, $1,800. Sinsod, $12,000, none was returned, despite promises. Wedding, $4,800, travel and extras, $2,800, total $48,000. I still had $532,000. I felt rich. I felt like I'd made the right choice. When we returned to Bangkok as a married couple, things felt perfect. Pensri started calling me Papa. Sumali talked about our future, maybe opening a small business, building a house in her village. I thought marriage would solidify everything, that she'd feel secure and the financial requests would slow down. I was catastrophically wrong. The first year of marriage was a masterclass in gradual financial erosion, disguised as normal family life. We moved to a larger 2-bedroom apartment in On Nut to accommodate Pensri, who moved from the village to live with us so she could attend a better school in Bangkok. Rent jumped to $650 per month. My monthly expenses became rent, $650, food and utilities, $900, Sumali's allowance, $400, family support, $600, Pensri's school, $320, miscellaneous, $330, total, $3,200 month. My income was $3,200. I'd gone from saving to breaking even. But I told myself this was normal. This was what family cost. Sumali had stopped working entirely, which I'd encouraged. She spent her days managing the household, taking Pensri to school and visiting Thai friends in the neighborhood. The requests came in patterns. Small purchases first. Pensri need new school uniform, $120. We need better rice cooker, Thai style. Not cheap one, $180. Air conditioning broken. Repairman say need new one. $800. That phrase destroyed me. It's only amount. Because it happened 3 times per week, every week for 17 years. Then came the family emergencies. Every 2 months, like clockwork, something catastrophic happened in the village. Her father's motorcycle broke down, $600. Her sister needed money for university enrollment, $2,400. The family's rice crop failed, and they needed to buy seed for replanting, $3,200. The family home roof was leaking, well into 1800s. I asked once, "Can't your brother help?" She looked at me with disgust. "He have own family. You want my family to suffer? You want my mother to lose house?" The guilt worked instantly. I sent the money. What made it effective was the inconsistency. For every 3 requests, she'd refuse something. "No, too expensive, we don't need," she'd say about a new TV or a weekend trip. It made me think she wasn't just taking advantage, that she had boundaries, that we were partners managing money together. Then came the comparisons. We'd visit another expat couple, usually a friend of mine from the bar scene. His wife have new phone, Sumali would mention later. He buy her gold necklace for birthday. "You never buy me gold," or "They go Phuket holiday every year. We never go anywhere." It made me feel inadequate, like I was being cheap while other men were generous. I'd compensate with gifts, gold jewelry, a new phone, a weekend trip to Hua Hin. Around month 14, her behavior started shifting. She was on her phone constantly, texting in rapid Thai I couldn't follow. When I asked who she was talking to, she'd say, "Just friend or my sister." If I persisted, she'd get angry. "You don't trust me? Why you marry me if no trust?" I started noticing she'd go out alone more often. Going to market, going to temple with friend, going to help my friend with her shop. She'd be gone for 4 or 5 hours, returning with a small bag of vegetables that didn't justify the time. I was isolated. Most of my expat friends were single guys still living the bar scene, and Sumali discouraged me from seeing them. They bad influence. They no respect Thai women. They think all Thai girls are prostitutes. When I'd push back, she'd say, "You want to be like them? Old man in bar every night?" The shame kept me home. By early 2008, I'd spent another $85,000 beyond my monthly income, drawing down savings for Pensri's private school enrollment fees, a medical emergency for Sumali's father, heart medication, and what she called investments in the family farm, a new water pump, a small tractor, fencing. I calculated my remaining savings, $447,000. I was 52 years old. I told myself I was still fine. that this pace couldn't continue forever, that things would stabilize. Then Sumali started talking about buying a house. Not renting, buying. This was when the financial bleeding became a hemorrhage. In March 2008, Sumali said, "We need our own house. Rent is waste money. We pay $650 every month, nothing to show. If we buy house, it's ours. Investment." She'd been researching properties. She showed me listings. A 3-bedroom townhouse in a development near Bang Na for 2.8 million baht, about $112,000 AUD. It had a small yard. Parking was near good schools and was in a safe neighborhood. "If we buy, mortgage may be same as rent," she said. "But house go up in value. In 5 years, worth 4 million, maybe more. Smart investment." I was immediately uncomfortable. "In Thailand, foreigners can't own land," I said. "The house would have to be in your name." She looked at me like I'd insulted her. "You my husband. What's mine is yours. You think I would take your money and leave you? You think I'm that kind of woman? Besides," she continued, "I check with lawyer. You can put in my name, but we make contract. Say house is your money, you have rights. Many Farang do this. Very normal." I had 3 concerns: ownership risk, spending $112,000 from savings, and whether we could even afford it. Her counter-arguments came fast. "If you don't trust me, why we married? Your friend Robert, his wife have house in her name. You think he's stupid? This is Thailand, everyone do this. For the money concern, you have over $400,000 saved. You spend $112,000, you still have almost $300,000, more than enough. This not reckless, this smart. For affordability. No mortgage, we already pay $650 rent. We just stop renting, own instead. Save money long term." Her mother called me. Through Sumali translating, she said, "Thank you for taking care of my daughter and granddaughter. I know you are good, man. But I worry if something happened to you, they have nothing. House give them security. Give me peace." It was emotional blackmail disguised as gratitude, but I felt it deeply. I started to rationalize. Property in Thailand was appreciating. I'd seen the news articles. $112,000 was only about 25% of my savings, which felt manageable. Renting was dead money. At least this was an asset. And if I said no, what message did that send? That I didn't trust her? That she wasn't worth investing in? That our marriage was temporary? I knew foreigners couldn't own land. I'd heard the warnings from other expats. Never buy property in her name, you'll lose it in the divorce. But I convinced myself we were different. We were married. We had a child together, I thought. This wasn't some bar girl scam. This was my wife. Looking back, this was the moment I sealed my fate. Every warning I'd heard, I dismissed as cynicism from bitter men. But those bitter men? They'd been exactly where I was standing, right before they lost everything. Over 2 months, we navigated the purchase process. Sumali handled everything. She spoke Thai, knew the system, dealt with the real estate agent. I saw paperwork with official-looking stamps, signed documents I couldn't fully read, and transferred money in stages. The lawyer drew up a side agreement stating I'd provided the funds and had claim to the property. It was in Thai and English. I signed it. I later learned it was legally worthless. Thai courts don't recognize such agreements when land ownership is at stake. The final cost was higher than expected. 3.2 million baht, $128,000. Transfer fees, lawyer, agency, renovation, Sumali explained. All normal. All part of buying house. We moved in June 2008. The house was beautiful, tiled floors, modern kitchen, air conditioning in every room. Pensri had her own bedroom. There was space for a small garden. Sumali's mother visited and cried with joy, thanking me profusely in Thai. For about 2 weeks I felt vindicated. I'd made a good investment. We were building equity. This was what marriage and family looked like. Then the expenses began. The air conditioners needed servicing, $240. The garden needed landscaping, $800. Furniture for the living room, $3,200. "We can't have empty house," Sumali said. "People will think we poor." My monthly savings income had dropped to $2,800 due to market volatility in late 2008. Our housing costs, utilities, maintenance, property tax ran about $400 per month, plus everything else. I was now spending about $400 more than I earned monthly. I was slowly bleeding savings. By mid-2008, I'd spent $173,000. I had $407,000 remaining, 70% of my original savings. I was 52 years old and beginning to feel a low hum of anxiety I couldn't quite name. I told myself it would stabilize, that buying the house was the last big expense, that we'd coast from here. I believed that for exactly 4 months. Then Sumali started talking about opening a restaurant. By October 2008, things had subtly deteriorated. The house felt less like an investment and more like a money pit. The big complication was Sumali's new obsession, opening a small Thai restaurant near our neighborhood. "I'm bored staying home," she said. "I want to work, make money, contribute to family. Thai restaurant, I know how to cook. You know I'm good cook. We can make 40,000, maybe 50,000 baht profit per month. In 2 years, we get all investment back." The plan sounded reasonable on the surface. She'd lease a small shop house for 25,000 baht per month, $1,000, renovate it for maybe 200,000 baht, 8,000, and buy equipment and inventory for another 300,000 baht, $12,000. Total investment, $21,000. She'd run it with help from her sister, who was now living in Bangkok. I was skeptical. "Do you have restaurant experience?" I asked. "I cook for you every day. You love my food." She countered. "Thai restaurant easy. Everyone eat Thai food. Location is good, near office buildings, always busy at lunch. But restaurants fail at staggering rates. I knew that." "What if it doesn't work?" I asked. She looked hurt. "You don't believe in me. You think I'm stupid. You think only you know business." Every time I raised a concern, it became about me not supporting her, not believing in her, treating her like she was incompetent. Eventually I gave in, not because I believed in the business, but because I was exhausted from arguing and terrified she'd leave if I kept saying no. Over 3 months, the costs escalated. Renovation came in at 380,000 baht, 15,200, nearly double the estimate. Equipment and furniture cost another 420,000 baht, 16,800. Inventory, licenses, deposits, and unexpected expenses added 180,000 baht, 7,200. Final cost, $39,200. The restaurant opened in February 2009. It looked professional, nice signage, clean kitchen, decent seating. Sumali worked long hours. Her sister helped. For the first 2 months it seemed busy. Then the cracks appeared. Sumali constantly needed money. "We need more inventory. Rice, vegetables, meat, $800. Have to pay staff. On to $200. Repair broken refrigerator, $640. Rent due, $1,000. I asked to see the books. She got defensive. "You don't trust me?" "You think I steal from you?" When I pressed, she showed me a handwritten ledger in Thai with numbers that made no sense. Revenue looked decent, but expenses somehow always exceeded it. I visited unannounced one afternoon. The restaurant was nearly empty, 2 customers eating. Sumali seemed surprised to see me, slightly nervous. "Lunch rush already finished," she said quickly. Over the next 8 months, the restaurant drained another $34,000 in operating losses and unexpected costs. In late 2009, she announced it was closing. Economy too bad. People not eating out. Not my fault, just bad timing. I'd lost $73,200 on the restaurant. The equipment was sold for maybe $4,000. The rest vanished, but the real damage was elsewhere. While I was focused on the restaurant disaster, other financial erosion continued. Sumali and I barely spoke anymore unless it involved money. Intimacy had declined to maybe once a month, then once every 2 months. She seemed irritated by my presence, spending most of her time on her phone or out with friends. When I tried to initiate affection, she'd say she was tired, stressed about money, upset about the restaurant failing. She made it clear the financial pressure was my fault, that I hadn't supported the business enough, hadn't helped her succeed. She started going to visit family in her village more often, sometimes for a week at a time. She'd take Pensri, now 7 years old, leaving me alone in Bangkok. When she returned, she'd be distant, distracted. I noticed she was secretive about her phone. She'd set it face down, take calls in another room, or switch to English when I entered if she was speaking Thai. When I asked who she was talking to, she'd explode. "Why are you always jealous?" "I talk to my friend, my family. It's none of your business." My expat friends, the few I still saw, dropped hints. Trevor said, "Mate, I don't want to overstep, but is everything all right with Sumali? I've seen her at Central World a few times with some Thai bloke. Could be nothing, but—" I dismissed it. "Probably her brother or a cousin," I said. He nodded, but I saw doubt in his eyes. "Financial checkpoint. By early 2010, I'd spent $286,200. I had $293,800 remaining, barely 50% of my original savings. Breakdown. Previous total, $173,000. Restaurant investment, $30,200. Restaurant operating losses, $34,000 ongoing monthly deficit, $28,800. 24 months x $1,200 average overspend. Family emergencies, $11,200 total. $286,200. I was 54 years old. My investments had recovered somewhat from the 2008 financial crisis, bringing my income back to about $3,000 per month. But I was spending $3,400 to $3,600 monthly. The math was unsustainable. I felt trapped. I'd sunk so much into the relationship, the house, the business, 4 years of my life, that walking away felt like admitting total failure. Psychologists call this the sunk cost fallacy. I call it the stupidest decision I ever made, staying because I'd already lost too much to leave. Then came the call that shattered everything. My friend Robert, drunk at 11 p.m., said, "Warren, I need to tell you something. I saw Sumali 2 weeks ago at a restaurant in Thonglor. She was with a Thai guy, holding hands, laughing. I didn't want to say anything, but mate, you need to know." Robert's call came in March 2010. I was sitting alone in the house, Sumali and Pensri away in the village again. My first reaction was pure denial. "You're mistaken," I said. "It was probably her brother or a cousin." "Warren," Robert said gently, "I know what I saw. They were sitting close. She had her hand on his arm. They were laughing like a couple. I'm sorry, mate. I thought you should know. I couldn't sleep. For 3 days, I ran through every possibility that wasn't infidelity. Maybe it was innocent. Maybe Robert misread the situation. Maybe Thai culture was just more physically affectionate, and I was being paranoid. But then I remembered all the smaller things, the phone secrecy, the long absences, the emotional distance. The way she'd flinch when I touched her unexpectedly, like she'd forgotten I existed. When Sumali returned from the village, I tried to act normal while watching her closely. She seemed distracted, texting constantly. At dinner, I asked casually, "Who are you texting?" She barely looked up. "Friend from village." She asking advice about something. "What advice?" She snapped, "Why you interrogate me? I can't have private conversation." 2 days later, I made a decision I'd been avoiding. I hired a private investigator, a British expat who specialized in infidelity cases involving Thai wives. It cost 35,000 baht of 400 for 2 weeks of surveillance. He was blunt. "Mate, I'll be honest, about 70% of the cases I take end badly for the bloke. Are you sure you want to know?" "Yes," I said. "I need to know." 10 days later, he called. "We need to meet." The investigator showed me photos in a coffee shop in Sukhumvit. I felt my stomach drop with each image. Somali with a Thai man, probably late 30s, at a restaurant, holding hands across the table, her head thrown back laughing at something he said, the way she used to laugh with me in our first year. Somali and the same man entering a short-time hotel in the afternoon. The timestamp, 2:47 p.m. on a Tuesday. I'd been at home that day. She'd said she was going shopping. Somali, the man, and Pensri at a park. The man was pushing Pensri on a swing. They looked like a family. "This is Kun Surasak," the investigator said. "I did some background. He's married, owns a small electronics shop in Ramkhamhaeng. They've been seeing each other for at least 18 months, based on what I could track. The hotel visits happen 2 to 3 times per week. I felt like I was watching a movie about someone else's life. This couldn't be real. "There's more," he said. He showed me screenshots of Thai social media. Somali's account, under a name I didn't know she used, had photos I'd never seen, her with Surasak at a beach, at a concert, at a temple. Some dated back to 2007, before we married. "Warren," the investigator said, "I'm sorry, but I think he might be Pensri's father. Look at this. He showed me a photo of Surasak and Pensri side by side. The resemblance was undeniable. Same nose, same smile, same eyes. Suddenly everything made horrific sense. The first emergency with her mother's surgery, I'd never actually spoken to her mother about it. Never saw her after the supposed surgery. The money probably went to Surasak. The restaurant, strategically located in Ramkhamhaeng near Surasak's shop. I'd funded a business so she could be closer to her actual partner. Her long trips to the village, probably days spent with Surasak and Pensri, living the family life I thought was mine. The emotional withdrawal, she'd never really been mine. I'd been the financial sponsor, while she maintained her real relationship. The warnings from friends they'd known or suspected, I'd been the fool too blind to see it. Sumali had never left Surasak. From what I pieced together later, they'd been together since around 2005. When I met her in early 2006, she was already with him, maybe already pregnant with Pensri. I wasn't her new beginning. I was her financial solution, while she kept her real life separate. The investigator gave me his full report. Surasak was married to another woman, had 2 children with her, but had maintained a relationship with Sumali as a minor wife, a culturally accepted arrangement in some parts of Thai society. I'd unknowingly been funding Surasak's second family. The house I bought. Sumali's mother lived there now, rent-free. Sumali and Pensri spent most of their time at Surasak's apartment, a place I'd never heard of, never been invited to. The restaurant money? A significant portion likely went to Surasak's business or directly to supporting their lifestyle together. I calculated how much of my money had gone to supporting Sumali's life with another man. Over 4 years, house purchase $128,000, now functionally theirs. Restaurant investment $73,200, likely funneled partially to Surasak. Monthly family support $28,800, probably split between actual family and Surasak. Pensri's expenses $38,400 for a child who wasn't mine. Various emergencies $18,000 conservative estimate. $286,400 spent directly or indirectly on her relationship with Surasak. I'd been a paycheck. An ATM. A useful foreigner who asked few questions and signed every check. I felt rage, white-hot, consuming anger at her, at Surasak, at myself. How could I have been so blind? How could I have ignored every warning sign? I felt humiliation. How many people knew? Did my friends know and not tell me? Did her family laugh at me behind my back? Was I the joke of her village? The stupid Farang who paid for everything while she fucked her real boyfriend? I felt profound betrayal. Pensri called me Papa. I'd raised her for 4 years. I'd loved her as my daughter. And she wasn't mine. She'd never been mine. But the deepest emotion was self-hatred. I'd done this to myself. I'd ignored red flags, dismissed warnings, and rationalized obvious lies because I was too proud to admit I'd made a mistake, too lonely to walk away, and too desperate to believe someone could love me. I had to confront her. I needed to hear her admit it. I needed to understand how someone could look me in the eye every day for 4 years while living this double life. 3 days after getting the investigator's report, on March 28, 2010, I prepared for the conversation that would end my marriage and destroy what was left of my financial future. It was a Saturday morning. Sumali was at the house making breakfast, while Pensri watched cartoons in the living room. I asked Pensri to go play in her room. I needed to talk to her mother. Sumali looked at me warily. She'd sensed something was wrong for days. I'd been cold, distant, refusing to engage. I know about Surasak, I said. She froze, spatula in hand, her back to me. For several seconds, she didn't move. Then she set the spatula down slowly and turned around. "What you talking about?" she said. Her face was carefully neutral. "I know about Surasak," I repeated. "I know you've been seeing him since before we met. I know Pensri is his daughter, not mine. I know about the apartment, the restaurant near his shop, the trips that weren't to your village. I know everything." I pulled out my phone and showed her one of the photos, her and Surasak holding hands at a restaurant. Her face transformed. The mask dropped. For just a moment I saw something like fear. Then it hardened into defensiveness. "That's not what you think," she said quickly. He's just friend. Old friend from village. You making something from nothing. I have photos of you two entering a hotel, I said. Multiple times. I have photos from your social media. Stop lying. You hire someone to follow me. She switched from defense to offense. You spy on me. What kind of husband do that? You don't trust me, so you pay stranger to follow me like I'm criminal. Answer the question. Is Pensri Surasak's daughter? She started crying. You want to hurt me. You want to destroy our family. I work so hard, I try so hard to make you happy, and you answer the fucking question. I'd never raised my voice to her before. She flinched. She stopped crying. The tears turned off like a faucet. She looked at me with something cold and calculating in her eyes. Yes, she said flatly. Surasak is Pensri's father. The world tilted. Even though I knew hearing her say it made it real in a way the photos hadn't. Surasak and I together since 2005, she said. When I meet you, I already pregnant, maybe 3 months. I need money for baby. Surasak Merit cannot give me money, so I work in bar. You lied about her father leaving? I asked. Yes, I need you to think I'm... What's word available? If I say I have boyfriend, you not interested. All Farang want to be hero, save poor Thai girl from bad situation. Did you ever love me? She hesitated. For a moment I thought she might say yes, might give me something. But she was done lying. No, I like you. You nice man. Good to me, good to Pensri. But love, no, I love Surasak. I always love Surasak. Why marry me? Money, she said simply. Surasak cannot leave his wife. Family too traditional, village too small. He give me small money, but not enough. You give me security. You buy house, give me face in village, pay for everything. It's business arrangement. Did you tell Surasak about me? Yes, we decide together. He know I marry you. It's okay for him. He understand it's for money, not love. In Thailand, this normal. Many Thai women have foreign husband for money, Thai boyfriend for love. Everyone know this. So the house, the restaurant, all of it, that was for you and him? The house for my family in Pensri. The restaurant, she paused. Yes, it near Surasak's shop so I can see him more. Some money from restaurant I give to Surasak. His business need help. So I funded his business too. She shrugged. You have money. He need help. What's problem? Did you enjoy fucking him while I paid your bills? I asked. I wanted to hurt her the way she'd hurt me. Yes, she said without hesitation. He understand me. He's Thai. You nice, but you never understand me. You think buying things is love. Real love is understanding person's heart. You never try to understand my heart. You just try to fix things with money. Who else knows? Your family? Your friends? Everyone know, she admitted. My mother, my sisters, my friends. They all know you not Pensri's father. Know I have Thai boyfriend. In village, people call you ATM Farang. It means foreign ATM machine. I felt physically sick. I walked to the bathroom and vomited. 4 years of my life, $286,000. And I'd been a running joke, the stupid foreigner who believed everything he was told. When I came out, she was still standing in the kitchen. So what now? She asked. You leave. Get divorce. Everything is in your name, I said. The house, the car, everything. I have no legal claim to any of it, do I? No, she said. In Thailand, if property in wife's name, it's hers. Even if you pay, doesn't matter. You want to fight in Thai court, you lose. Farang always lose. I'm leaving, I said. I'll stay in a hotel tonight. We'll figure out the legal details. Wait, she said. There was a flicker of something. Maybe regret, maybe calculation. We can work this out. You can stay. I'll stop seeing Surasak. Do you think I'm that pathetic? I asked. That I'd stay after this? Then leave, she said, the warmth gone from her voice. But you leave with nothing. House is mine. Car is mine. Money you give me is mine. You get nothing back. She was right. And that's when it fully hit me. Everything was legally hers. House, $128,000, gone in her name. No legal recourse. Car, $24,000, gone in her name. Restaurant investment, $73,200, gone. Money lost to a failed business in her name. Gold jewelry and assets, $18,000, hers legally. Total unrecoverable, $243,200 I'd also spent. monthly support over 4 years. It's $144,000 combined baseline expenses and overspending total spent. $387,200. I had roughly $192,800 remaining. I was 54 years old. I'd burned through 67% of my retirement savings on a lie. I wasn't going to fight in Thai courts. I'd heard enough horror stories about foreigners losing everything, trying to get justice in a system stacked against them. I wasn't going to beg her to change. I was going to leave. I'd take what little I had left and start over somewhere, anywhere that wasn't Thailand. "I'll be out by the end of the week," I said. "Enjoy your house." I walked into Pensri's room. She was coloring, unaware her world was about to change. "Papa has to go away for work," I said, hugging her. She hugged me back. "When you come back?" she asked. "I don't know, sweetheart." I left before I broke down. Over the next week, as I packed my things and prepared to leave Thailand, I learned even more devastating truths. I contacted a lawyer to explore my options. He was honest. "Mr. Henderson, in Thailand, property ownership is absolute. If the house is in her name and you're not on the Shanout land deed, you have zero claim, even with your useless side agreement. Thai courts will not rule in your favor. You can spend $10,000 on legal fees and lose, or you can accept reality and leave." I asked about the financial support I'd provided. "Not recoverable," he said. "Those were gifts during marriage. Divorce proceedings might recover a small percentage of liquid assets if she has any, but based on what you've told me, she's spent everything. You're walking away with whatever cash you have left." I realized the full extent of my social humiliation. I met Trevor for a drink. "Mate, how long did you know?" I asked. He looked uncomfortable. "About Surasak?" "Maybe a year. I saw them together a few times." "I told you once, remember? You brushed it off. After that, I figured you didn't want to hear it. Other expats I barely knew would approach me with pity in their eyes. One guy I'd met once said, 'Sorry about your situation, mate.' Heard through the grapevine. Rough break. The entire foreign community knew. I'd been the last to know about my own marriage. I'd been a walking ATM machine with the word sucker written across my forehead in Thai. People in her village, people I'd met, smiled at, given money to, had known the whole time. They'd graciously accepted my cash while laughing at the idiot Farang. The worst realization, Pensri knew or would soon know. She was 7. How long before Surasak became Papa officially, and I became the strange foreign man who used to live with them? I created a spreadsheet to document everything. Year by year, 2006, $48,000 Sinzod. Wedding initial support. 2007, $52,000 monthly expenses. Emergencies. 2008, $140,200 house purchase. Ongoing expenses. 2009, $82,000 restaurant investment operations. Family support 2010 partial. $62,000 final 6 months of marriage, legal fees, moving costs. Total lost $387,200 remaining, $192,800, 33% of my original savings. I couldn't get those 4 years back. I couldn't unlearn what I now knew about myself, that I'd been so desperate for companionship that I'd ignored reality, so prideful that I couldn't admit a mistake until I'd lost everything. I was 54 years old, a decade older than when I'd arrived, with decades less financial security. If I'd kept my original plan, I'd still have $580,000 and another 20 years of comfortable retirement ahead. Instead, I had maybe 8 to 10 years of modest living before I'd need to return to work in my 60s. There were none. What could I do? The house was hers. The money was gone. Pensri wasn't legally mine. I had no custody rights. I could have exposed Surasak to his wife, blown up his life the way mine had been blown up. But what would that accomplish? I'd still be broke. I'd still have wasted 4 years. I'd just be adding cruelty to failure. This was when I understood Thailand at a level most tourists never do. I'd thought the smiles were welcoming, that the culture was kind, that my money was building genuine relationships. But the truth was harsher. I was an ATM, nothing more. My value was my wallet. When it ran empty, so would the smiles. The smile means nothing. The famous Thai smile isn't warmth. It's social lubrication. It's how you're told to fuck off politely. You never belong. No matter how much you spend, how much Thai you learn, how long you stay, you're a foreigner. And foreigners are resources, not people. The system protects its own. Thai courts, Thai culture, Thai families, they're designed to extract money from outsiders and protect it when they do. I hated myself more than I hated her. She'd done what made sense to her, secured resources for her child, supported her real partner, maximized her financial position. I couldn't even be that angry at her cunning. She'd played the game well, but I'd been the idiot. I'd had every tool to see the truth. Warnings from friends, red flags everywhere. Basic common sense, and I'd ignored it all because I was lonely, because I wanted to feel needed, because I couldn't face the possibility that I'd made a mistake. I packed 2 suitcases. I kept my passport, my laptop, my clothes, and the cash I had left. I closed my Thai bank account and transferred the remaining funds to Australia, $192,800 AUD minus transfer fees. On April 8, 2010, I walked out of the house I'd paid for, said goodbye to a daughter who wasn't mine, and left the woman who'd expertly harvested 4 years of my life. I didn't look back. What I didn't know was that the nightmare wasn't over. 13 years later, Thailand would come back to haunt me one final time, with a daughter I actually fathered, one I never knew existed, demanding her inheritance. I left Thailand in April 2010 and went to Vietnam. Cheaper cost of living, no emotional baggage. I rented a small apartment in Hanoi for $400 per month and tried to rebuild some kind of life. For the next 13 years I worked odd jobs, English teaching, consulting work for mining companies, freelance project management. I lived frugally, saving what I could, trying to stretch my remaining savings. I never returned to Thailand. I never contacted Sumali. I tried to forget the entire experience. In November 2023, I received an email. The subject line, "From your daughter in Thailand." My first thought was that Pensri had somehow found me. But when I opened it, the message was in English. "Dear Mr. Henderson, my name is Ratana. I am 29 years old. I believe you are my father. I was born in Bangkok in December 1994. My mother is Sumali. She told me you lived with her and then left Thailand in 2010. I need to speak with you about a legal matter. Please contact me." I felt my blood turn to ice. There was a photo attached. A young Thai woman who looked nothing like Sumali, but who had my nose, my jawline, my pale green eyes. Traits Pensri never had. I called immediately. Ratana answered in fluent English. "Mr. Henderson, thank you for responding. I need you to understand something. I am your biological daughter." My mother confirmed this. "I was conceived in 1994, when you and my mother had a brief relationship during your business trips to Bangkok." "I never met your mother in 1994, I said. "I met Sumali in 2006. There was a pause. "You met my mother, whose name is also Sumali, in 1994. You had a relationship for about 3 months. She was working at a hotel where you stayed during business trips. When she became pregnant, you returned to Australia. She never contacted you." I searched my memory. "In 1994, I'd made 3 business trips to Bangkok, week-long stays for mining equipment trade shows. There had been a woman at the hotel. Her name was Sumali. We'd had a brief thing, but she'd never contacted me afterward. I'd assumed it ended naturally. She never told me she was pregnant," I said. "She didn't know until after you left. When she found out, she decided not to contact you. You were married at the time. She'd seen your wedding ring. She raised me alone. When I was 4, you returned to Thailand and she met you again. You didn't remember her. She didn't tell you about me." The timeline clicked into place with horrifying clarity. The Sumali I married in 2006 was the same woman I'd had a brief affair with in 1994. She'd seen me in that bar in early 2006, recognized me, and decided not to reveal our past. She'd built a new backstory, different work history, Pensri as her daughter, and I'd never questioned it. And she'd hidden Ratana entirely. Her real biological daughter, my biological daughter, had been kept secret. "Why are you contacting me now?" I asked. "You're dying," Ratana said bluntly. "My mother is dying. Liver failure. She's been sick for 2 years. Before she dies, she wants to tell you the truth. And I want to claim what's legally mine, my inheritance from the estate you and my mother built." "I have no estate," I said. "She took everything. The house in Bangkok is still in her name. It's now worth approximately 6 million baht, about $240,000 AUD. When she dies, it goes to her children. Legally, I'm entitled to half. Pensri gets half. But I need you to confirm paternity for the legal proceedings. Why would I help you? I asked. Your mother destroyed my life. Because I'm your daughter, Ratana said. And whether you help or not, I'll pursue this legally. A DNA test will prove it. But it's easier if you cooperate, and I thought you'd want to know you have a biological child. That you're not completely without family. I didn't know what to feel. Rage, relief, betrayal? I had a daughter. A real daughter. 29 years old. A stranger. But she wasn't reaching out for connection. She was reaching out for money. Money I'd paid for, invested in, and lost. Money that was legally her mother's but morally mine. I'll do the DNA test, I said. But I'm not giving you anything beyond confirmation. If you want the house, fight for it with your mother and Pensri. 2 weeks later, I did a DNA test through an international service. The results confirmed what was obvious from the photo. 99.97% probability of paternity. Ratana sent a formal letter thanking me and informing me she was proceeding with legal claims against the estate. I never met her in person. I never met her mother again. In February 2024, Sumali died. According to Thai law, her estate, the house I bought, was divided between her 2 daughters. Pensri got half. Ratana got half. Surasak got nothing. I got nothing. The house I paid $128,000 for, now worth $240,000, was split between 2 daughters, one who wasn't mine, one I never knew. I'm broken. I sit in this apartment in Hanoi, 68 years old, and I think about the architecture of my mistakes. I have a biological daughter who sees me as a legal technicality, a paternity test that helped her claim money. I raised a daughter who wasn't mine and loved her as if she was. I lost everything to a woman who played me perfectly for 4 years, and then again 13 years later, from beyond the grave. Thailand gave me nothing. It took $387,000, 17 years counting the aftermath, my dignity, and any illusions I had about my own judgment. It's November 2024. I'm 68 years old. I live in a studio apartment in Hanoi. I have $38,000 in savings. It's what's left after stretching $192,800 over 14 years of modest living. At my current burn rate, I have maybe 3 years left before I need to return to Australia and rely on government assistance. I rent a 350-month apartment. No air conditioning. Shared bathroom down the hall. I eat street food and cook rice. I haven't traveled anywhere in 5 years. My health is declining. High blood pressure, early-stage diabetes, chronic back pain from decades of physical labor in my 20s. I can't afford regular medical care beyond basic checkups. I have no relationships. I speak to my younger sister in Melbourne once every few months. She's offered to help, but I'm too ashamed. I haven't told her the truth about Thailand, just that retirement didn't go as planned. Some days I feel numb. Other days I fantasize about going back to Thailand and confronting everyone who profited from my stupidity. Most days I just feel tired. If I could go back, I'd walk out of that bar the night I met Sumali. I'd ignore the loneliness, the desire to be needed. I'd keep my simple retirement plan, safe, boring, solvent. But I can't. And now I'm 68 years old with nothing but regrets and a spreadsheet of mistakes. Looking ahead, I'll live as cheaply as possible until my money runs out. Then I'll return to Australia, apply for the aged pension, and live in subsidized housing. That's the future I bought with $387,000 and 17 years in Thailand. If you're reading this and considering a relationship with a Thai woman, especially if there's a significant age gap, if you've met in a bar, or if she's asking for money, please listen. Here are 7 lessons that cost me $387,000 and 17 years of my life. Lesson number 1, never put property in her name, I thought. We're married. What's hers is mine. She wouldn't betray me, I'm her husband. The truth is, Thai property law is absolute. If it's in her name, it's hers. Full stop. When you divorce, when you discover she's been lying, when you realize you've been played, none of that matters. The house, the condo, the land, it's hers. Thai courts will not rule in your favor. They will tell you that you knew the law when you bought it. Your side contract saying you provided the funds? Worthless. Your receipts proving you paid? Irrelevant. Your belief that marriage means shared assets. Naive. If she insists the property must be in her name or her family's name, walk away. If she says, "Don't you trust me?" When you hesitate, walk away faster. The women who genuinely love you will understand your caution. The ones who don't are showing you who they are. This cost me $128,000 that I will never recover. Lesson number 2. If the age gap is 20+ years, it's not love. I was 50 when I met Sumali. She was 25. I told myself age was just a number, that she saw my maturity and stability, that we connected on a deeper level. But here's the reality check I should have given myself. What does a 25-year-old woman have in common with a 50-year-old man? What shared cultural references, life experiences, or stages of life connect them? Nothing. The connection is financial. You represent security, stability, escape from poverty. That's not romance, it's economics. Ask yourself, would she be with me if I were her age and had my current bank balance? Would she be with me if I were my age but working a minimum wage job? If the answer is no, then you're not in a relationship. You're a retirement plan. I'm not saying it's impossible for age gap relationships to work. But in Thailand, with bar girls and financial desperation in play, the odds are close to zero. Lesson market 3. The family emergencies never stop. Within 2 months of meeting Sumali, her mother needed emergency surgery. Over the next 4 years, there was always something. Broken motorcycle, roof repairs, sister's tuition, brother's debt, rice crop failure. Water buffalo died, yes really, and father's heart medication. I sent approximately $29,000 over 4 years to family emergencies. Here's what I learned. In Thai culture, if you marry a woman, you marry her family. You become the financial solution to every problem. It's not a crisis fund, it's a permanent obligation. The emergencies don't stop because they're not emergencies. They're a recurring subscription you didn't know you signed up for. Some of it is real need. Poverty is real in rural Thailand. But much of it is testing your boundaries, seeing how much you'll give, creating dependence so you can't leave without guilt. If you want to help, set a monthly budget up front and stick to it. I'll send $200 a month to support your family. If there's an emergency beyond that, we'll discuss it. If she resists boundaries, that's your red flag. This cost me $29,000, not counting the emotional manipulation. Lesson number 4. Don't invest in her business dreams. She wants to open a restaurant, or a bar, or a salon, or a guest house, or a laundry service. She promises it will make 40,000 baht profit per month, will pay itself back in 2 years, will give her purpose beyond being a housewife. The business will fail, or it will mysteriously lose money every month despite appearing busy, or the profits will disappear into unexpected expenses, or she'll claim the Thai partner she needed to legally own it, because you can't own a business in Thailand, has stolen everything. Why do these businesses fail? She has no business experience. The market is saturated. Every Soai has 3 restaurants already. She's not actually running it. She's using it as an excuse to be near her Thai boyfriend. The money is being siphoned elsewhere. I invested $3,900 into a restaurant that operated for 10 months and failed. I lost another $34,000 in operating losses. Total, $73,200 for a business I never saw a baht of profit from. If she wants to be an entrepreneur, let her save and invest her own money. If she insists you fund it, walk away. This cost me $73,200. Lesson number 5. Sinsod is negotiable, but you're still losing. Sinsod is the traditional bride price in Thailand, money or gold given to the bride's family at the wedding. It's supposed to demonstrate you can provide for their daughter and show respect. They'll tell you it's just for show and will be returned after the ceremony. They'll tell you it's tradition, that refusing is insulting. They'll quote enormous amounts, 500,000 baht, 1 million baht, then negotiate down to 300,000 as if they're being generous. Here's the truth. You're not getting it back. It's gone. And the amount is directly correlated to how stupid they think you are. I paid 300,000 baht, $12,000 AUD. None was returned. It was added to the family wealth while I became poorer. If you're going to marry a Thai woman, understand sinsod is a cost, not an investment. Negotiate it as low as possible. And if she or her family get insulted that you're questioning the amount, good. You've just learned they value your money more than your comfort. This cost me $12,000 that vanished the moment the ceremony ended. Lesson: there are 6. The red flags were there. I ignored them. Looking back, the signs were everywhere. She was secretive about her phone and took calls in another room because she was talking to Surasak. She was gone for long periods with vague explanations because she was with Surasak. Friends tried to warn me, and I dismissed them as cynical because I couldn't face that I'd made a mistake. I ignored them because admitting I saw the red flags meant admitting I'd wasted money, time, and emotion on a lie. Sunk cost fallacy kept me trapped longer than love ever did. Your gut knows. Your friends know. The other expats who give you pitying looks know. The only person who doesn't know is you, because you don't want to. If you're reading this and thinking, but my situation is different, it's not. Listen to your instincts. Listen to your friends. Get out before you're me. Lesson number 7. Thailand is not your friend. This isn't about individuals. I met kind Thai people, honest people, people who treated me fairly. This is about the system. Thailand's legal structure is designed to protect Thai nationals and extract wealth from foreigners. Property. You can't own land. Condos have foreign ownership quotas. Houses must be in a Thai national's name. Business. You can't own more than 49% of most businesses. You need a Thai partner who can legally rob you. Marriage, divorce courts favor Thai spouses. Prenups are hard to enforce. Your money becomes hers. Her money stays hers. Courts. Try suing a Thai national as a foreigner. You'll lose. The legal system protects its own. Culture. You're a foreigner always, no matter how long you stay, how much you integrate, how fluent you're Thai. You're Farang. And Farang are walking ATMs. You can visit Thailand. You can enjoy it. But don't build a life there thinking you're safe. You're not. The moment things go wrong, you'll learn that you have no protection, no recourse, and no justice. This cost me everything, 387,017 years. Lesson number 8. Don't sacrifice your security for anyone. The biggest lesson I learned. No one is worth your financial destruction. I gave up my retirement security for a woman who didn't love me, a daughter who wasn't mine, and a life that was a fabrication. If I hadn't done that, I'd have $580,000 today. I'd be 70 years old and comfortable. Instead, I'm 68 and broke. The math is brutal. Every dollar you give away is a dollar you'll need when you're old, sick, and alone. Women come and go. Money spent is gone forever. Your future self is depending on your current self to be smarter than I was. If someone truly loves you, they won't ask you to destroy yourself financially to prove it. If they do ask, they don't love you. They love your money. This cost me my future. These 7 lessons cost me $387,000 in 17 years. I'm giving them to you for free. Maybe someone will listen. If you're reading this, you're probably considering moving to Thailand, or you're already there and wondering if your relationship is real. Don't do what I did. Don't ignore red flags. Don't invest everything in a woman who sees you as a financial resource. Don't buy property in her name. Don't fund her family's endless needs. Don't believe the smiles mean you belong. You'll end up 68 years old, broke, alone, living in a 350-month apartment with $38,000 to your name, and a daughter who only contacted you to claim an inheritance from money you earned. If you're considering Thailand, visit, don't move permanently. Enjoy it as a tourist. Don't commit your life to it. Keep your money in your home country. Invest it there. Don't transfer your wealth to Thailand. Rent, never buy. You can't own property. Don't pretend you can. Set a budget and stick to it. If she asks for more, say no. Assume bar girls are working. They are. Even if they quit the bar, they're working you. Get a prenup if marrying. It might not hold up in Thai courts, but at least you tried. DNA test any children. Don't assume, verify, trust your instincts. If something feels wrong, it is. If you're already in this situation, don't throw good money after bad. What's gone is gone. Stop the bleeding now. Sunk cost is already lost. Don't lose more. You can't recover the past. Protect your future. Get out before it's too late. Every day you stay costs you more. Your pride isn't worth your future. Admit the mistake and leave. There's no shame in admitting you were scammed. Thousands of men have been. You're not special. I'm 68 years old, living on $38,000 in a Hanoi studio, with maybe 3 years before I'm homeless or dependent on government assistance. This is what 17 years in Thailand cost me. You still have time. You still have your money. You still have a choice. Make the right one. Learn from my story. Don't become another one. Thailand is beautiful, but it can be beautifully cruel. Protect yourself.